What's up, guys? I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another lecture in our Python tutorial series that's based on exercises. So, in this video, we will be looking at exercise 5 or lecture 5 in the tutorial series. And without any further ado, let's get straight into it. As you will see in today's exercise as well, there's a bit of maths involved. So I'm thinking what I may do for this particular video is code the exercise and thereafter explain it, but we'll see as we go along. Okay, so a bit of a long one. Exercise 5. In many jurisdictions, a small deposit is added to drink containers to encourage people to recycle them. In one particular jurisdiction, drink containers holding 1 liter or less have a $0.10 deposit or 10 cent, and drink containers holding more than 1 liter have a $0.25 deposit. Develop a Python program that will read the number of containers of each size from the user. Your program should continue by computing and displaying the refund that will be received for returning those containers. Format the output so that it includes a dollar sign and always display exactly 2 decimal places. Okay, so I'm thinking what I will do for this is most likely explain, as we do it. I think in that way we get the best understanding, of the particular exercise. So let's do it. You'll notice that there are two fixed values. So fixed values in Python or in any programming language, when you are creating a variable that does not change, we refer to that as a constant. It's not a variable, it becomes a constant because it does not change. So in this particular problem, we need to understand that it's simply, the case I mean, I am familiar with this particular kind of problem, because like you have to understand like the reason as well behind what they're trying to achieve. So in simple cases, essentially what that means is that, in certain well, in modern time, especially to promote recycling and stuff, since it's so important, essentially what happens is, if you return the bottle, the drink bottle, the empty one, to the store, they give you a small, like a incentive back. It's very small, it's just to promote recycling. And what we are trying to do now is calculate the return that people will get, and they are going to get a return for two classifications of bottles: for bottles that have less than 1 liter of liquid, and for bottles that have more. And we do have the fixed values that are given to us. Those are constants. So let's get started. We create two constants, one for less and one for more. So let's do, this is less than 1 liter is equals to 0.10. Then we do more than 1 liter is equals to 0.25. Again, it's very good if you, I hope you all are actually attempting the exercises before actually watching how the solution is to be done, because the whole aim of this is to give you experience. And as I said before, what I'm doing is simply to guide you along. This is not the only way that this program can be done. In actual sense, you don't even need these constants. I'm actually following a solution that's given in the sources, because it is kind of easy to understand, and I will be explaining them along to you. So more than 1 liter 0.10, less than 1 liter 0.10, more than 1 liter 0.25. And that makes life easy for us, because we have these fixed values and we will make use of them. So now we're going to ask the user for input. Specifically, how many bottles do they have that carry less than 1 liter, and how many carry more? So we're going to do this in two separate prompts. So let's create a variable, and you'll notice in this particular video, so the source has very short variables that don't really make sense when I look at them. So I'm naming them according to what I feel would help us to understand. Less than 1 liter, more than 1 liter. That's perfect. So let's do the same. We'll call it user, or we can call it customer. I spelled that right? Yeah, customer less than 1 liter. That's a bit too long. Let's say, yeah, let's do this. Yeah, let's just call it less. I think that will make sense. So we know less than 1. Yeah, that seems better. Let's just name it in full then. I don't want you guys to get confused. Less than 1. Yeah, that's good. Is equals to. So they didn't really specify the prompts, but we need to know that since we are coding, it's our duty to make use of the best Python practices and make use of our best potential to answer the question. So despite them, they only specify that the user will be asked for the number of bottles. We need to know that that number will be an integer. Like, for example, the user cannot have maybe 5.2 bottles, right? That will not make sense. So we need to have fixed integers. For this reason, we make use of int, and we'll enclose the input function in this int function, which basically enforces that the user only has the ability to enter an integer value. So we'll do less than 1, and we'll ask kindly, please enter the number of containers that are 1 liter or less. Okay, that's there. That's good. Now the next one we'll call it, so I'll just copy and paste this. This is going to be more than 1. More than 1 what? Well, we know liter. So more than 1 input, please enter the number of containers that are, this should just be more than 1 liter. Yeah, that will be good. So I can take that out. Okay, guys, now this is the important one. So this is where actually you see these two constants actually help us here. Makes life easy for us. This is a very simple program. And there are more than one ways to do it, as I told you. In Python, in programming in general, irrespective of the language, there's more than one way to go about solving a problem. Different people have different solutions. Different people have different problem solving skills. So this is where we'll store. We can call this, instead of refund, they call this refund. I'll call mine total refund is equals to, we'll do now, we are going to take the less than 1. This is the number of bottles, remember, less than 1 multiplied by, so we are calculating the total refund. So we are going to take the number of bottles they have and multiply it by the fixed return value for bottles that hold less or less than 1 liter or exactly 1. So less than 1, this was the prompt, and then we'll multiply that by the less than 1 liter constant. This is the first calculation that will take place. After that, also, I'm glad we are doing this problem, because you see, I should mention to you, it is very important to take care of your maths that's involved in your script. So what I will tell you though, for extra information, and it is quite interesting, I'm sure you've heard of board maths. So in South Africa, like this, that's how I learned it. I think there is an alternative. It's called PEMDAS. I think, yeah, PEMDAS, yeah, and I know it as board mass. Yeah, it's the same thing. The important stuff here is the order in which brackets gets solved. Okay. Essentially, division, multiplication, addition, then subtraction. So we want to make sure we always solve the brackets first and then addition and so on. So we'll do the same thing here. We're taking the more than 1. This is the number of containers that actually the customer has. This is more than 1 is the prompt, as you can see. So number of bottles are given by the user, entered by the user, multiplied by more than 1, which is the refund rate, right? The incentive. And yeah, that's about it, guys. We've effectively done the maths behind this particular problem. And finally, we can give a message that gets printed. So one thing that you will you probably understand these lines of code. I'm positive, I'm sure that you all understand exceptionally well. And one thing that you will learn and take away from this lecture is a new way of formatting your code, formatting your output. So remember, in the problem, these guys told us that they want us to format the output so that it includes a dollar sign and always display exactly 2 decimal places. So again, remember, we are going to print our message to the screen in the form of a string. And now this is why I said it's important, is because here you will learn another string formatting character. As we've learned one in the previous lecture, I'm not too sure which one it was, but now you're going to learn how to format your numbers to display according to the number of decimal places that you like. So let's do that. We'll say your total refund will be. So remember, these guys told us here that they'd like us, if I'm not mistaken, yes, there's it here, dollar sign. That's important as well. They're asking for 2 formats. They want the dollar sign to be displayed in front of that value to give it some formatting, and they want that value itself to be a decimal that shows up to 2 places, and it always needs to be 2 places. So we'll do, let's code this down. I want you to type a dollar followed by a percentage sign followed by a dot 2f. Okay, and afterwards you're going to come outside the string quotation and another percentage and refund. in brackets. Oh, my bad. They call theirs refund. We called ours total refund. Excellent. Now, this is cool. This is really very cool. I love. So essentially, we do refer to these as namespaces in Python. Namespaces. So I won't zoom in because you won't be able to see properly. But namespaces, I'll type that here in the form of a comment. Namespaces. It's called a namespace in Python. This is the namespace for a floating point integer that you want to display in Python, right? Namespaces are actually one of my favorite topics in Python. They are very helpful, very useful. To be honest with you, I'm not going to go into very in-depth explanations in this exercise because namespaces are so fun. I'd like to dedicate an entire video to them. There's namespaces for this is the scenario or case of the floating point integer, and in reality there exist namespaces for just about any data type that you'd like, be it strings, integers, and so on. um, I'm not too sure if namespaces, I've never tried it before actually, namespaces with booleans. I will try that and most likely like mention it in the comments if it exists, or one of you guys can actually help me along with that. Maybe do some research and let me know if namespaces exist for booleans in Python. Essentially, let's get back to the discussion. Now, I'd like to first run the script for you. Let's say I have 10 bottles that are 1 liter or less, and then let's say I have 4 bottles that are more than 1 liter. And as we were expecting, I was expecting $2. Reason being, 10 multiplied by 0.10, the comma or the point will shift 1 to the right, giving us $1 for those 10 1 liter or less bottles. And then we have 4 bottles that cost or have an incentive return of 0.25. If you're doing the maths, it will be $1 in our case, and adding that $1 to another $1 would give us $2, which explains why we have this return, or this output rather. Your total refund will be $2. Now, a small discussion about this particular feature, or this particular piece of code. So you see, the dollar sign was what they requested us to format. So we just placed a regular dollar sign inside the string. And now the concept of this, let's zoom in. I'll zoom in now. The concept of this, focus on the percentage sign for now. That percentage sign is what's actually referred to as the placeholder. That specifies, it kind of denotes that when you have a percentage sign followed by a certain character, specific character that are preset, Python automatically knows that, okay, you know what, I encountered a percentage sign followed by this special character, which is a part of the list of namespaces in Python. So essentially, this guy or this user is trying to create a namespace for a float, because this F means float. It denotes a float. And a point two, in reality, you can change this number, the 2, to anything you like, be it 4, 5, 6, depending on the number of decimal places that you would like to display, that you would like to use. And the reason for another percentage sign here, again, percentage kind of denotes like formatting. So the first one denotes, yes, we want to place some sort of format in this particular string. And the outside percentage sign basically refers to, or provides, it denotes that, you know what, following this percentage sign outside will be the formatting value that's going to take the place of the namespace. I do hope that makes sense. In reality, it's very fun and you can experiment with it. Try, let's actually do that while I'm here, while we're in the video. This video is actually 20 minutes so far, so I won't be much longer. Let's do the same values again. feel free to go ahead and use any you like. Oh, my bad. I actually forgot to change this, so I'm going to do a 4. You can do any value you like. And you'll notice that it displays to us according to 4 decimal places. So this is kind of boring, to be honest, just seeing zeros. That's why I encourage you, let's you go ahead and you provide some funky numbers for the bottles, the containers, so you get to witness that those decimal places actually changing. It is quite interesting. And yeah, believe it or not, we've actually successfully completed this exercise, guys. Nothing too difficult, quite simple, and that's the beauty of Python. Like we have so much discussion and so much, um, I would say, positive learning outcome just from a simple program. Like the exercise itself was longer than the actual code required to complete the exercise. So that's the beauty of Python, that there's so much to discuss and all of it is so interesting. Um, since we are here, I'll just mention it in the video. If you are new to Python or the channel or whatever, just some extra information. So these triple quotation marks, the reason why they are not displaying when we run the script in the output console is because this is actually a multi-line comment. I just thought that would be useful to say. Yeah, this is in the form of a multi-line comment. Therefore, when we run the script, it does not display in the output console. And with that, we've effectively reached the conclusion of this video. I thank you so much for watching, guys, and I thank you for staying till the end. And I do hope that these exercises are helping you to get the Python practice that you need, that you require. Because to be honest with you, when I started coding in Python back in 2020, it was kind of difficult to get my hands on Python exercises. And at this point in time, I am glad that I'm making the choice to actually try to help my fellow aspiring colleagues and students around the world. And with that, I thank you so much for watching and good luck with your learning journey. So thanks, guys. Take care.